Thursday, February 17th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, 2 more COVID-related deaths reported, more vaccines in town, the macro alert system inching one step closer to its full rollout, and top-level high school basketball players coming to our shores. So let's start the morning off right.
The Morning Edition is brought to you by We Buy You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Train your mind to see something good in every day. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And good morning, everybody. I'm Charles Fisher. A bit chilly on the outside, but it's kind of cool here in the studio.
Pretty cool. I'm cold. I just see. I'm very cold.
I'm not used to seeing you every morning. I'm so glad that you're back once again, just putting a smile on my face, all orangey up this morning. And you were asking me offset. Listen to this now. Offset, LaDawn was asking me, did I watch the Super Bowl? So I posed a question to her. Did you watch the stories?
Sometimes.
Who man did not watch Super Bowl on Sunday?
Well, many don't even know what football is.
So which team were you pulling for?
The Rams.
And who won?
And they won.
That's the first answer LaDawn has gotten right. The Rams won. They had their victory celebration yesterday, so it's all good. Hopefully Aaron Donald and those can make that run back once again next year. For Super Bowl next year, it's going to be in Arizona. I was thinking about going up. Yeah, I want to go. I'm not going to the game because if the tickets this year, the cheapest ticket this year was like around $3,000. I just want to be in the atmosphere. And hopefully this COVID pandemic is out there, make that trip down to Arizona and just be in the festivities. I always wanted to experience that, so hopefully that can happen.
Did you see Dr. Dre, Snoop?
Oh, that was one of the best halftime shows.
They showed my age. I had a good time.
Ever. That was one of the best halftime shows. So it was great. Outside is looking pretty good. So let's check on what's happening with the weather. Let's go to our weather. Bring it up there on the screen. We are waking up to 72 degrees, partly sunny, winds east at 8 miles per hour. Humidity 88%. Now a strong high pressure system centered north of the Bahamas will continue to support brisk winds and hazardous marine conditions across the islands. For all areas, weather very cloudy and windy with the chance of a few isolated showers passing throughout tonight. Your high temperatures today, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low of 68. And as we look ahead to Friday and Saturday, pleasant with sunshine on Friday, 82 in the day, 69 at night, and then on Saturday, an afternoon shower expected, 81 in the day, 71 at night.
2 more COVID-related deaths reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release, both females from Grand Bahama, a 75-year-old who died on January 26th and an 87-year-old who passed away on February 4th. That makes the total death toll now to 768. 33 new cases of the virus also reported, 29 here in New Providence, 2 over in Exuma, and 1 apiece in Eleuthera, Long Island, and the Berry Islands. Hospitalizations down slightly to 40, with 3 of those cases remaining in the intensive care unit. There are 79 new recoveries. 6,387 cases are active. The country's vaccination effort getting an extra boost with the arrival of more than 32,000 Pfizer vaccines on Wednesday. On hand was Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. the Honorable Michael Darville.
We need to get more public education. We need the media support to ensure that the young people who are eligible, who are of that school age, will be able to get these vaccines to the various clinics in the Family Islands and private clinics to ensure that they are available for those who express interest.
The Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute bill passing in the House of Assembly Wednesday evening. Prior to its passage, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis spoke to the focus his administration plans to put on food security and ridding the country of the uncertainty surrounding it.
Food security must be embedded in our National Development Plan and it must be at the forefront of strategic development goals. In our blueprint for change, we committed to providing resources and access to funding for agriculture and fisheries-related enterprises. Our farmers and fishers will play a vital role in a new paradigm that emerges over the next 5 years.
Pinewood Member of Parliament and Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honourable Miles LaRota, addressing the question surrounding the continuation of the unemployment benefit that officially ended last December. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis raised the issue during the BAMSI debate.
There's a $200 million bill that this government will be responsible for footing. I understand the frustration that is going on in the country, Madam Speaker, but at this point, there's no decision made not to. We are just waiting on all of the facts to come in before the government makes a decision.
Works Minister in Fort Charlotte, Member of Parliament, the Honourable Alfred Sears, revealing the status of contracts that were issued to the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority. His confirmation came in response to Dr. Minnis' suggestion that some people had not been paid since September.
80% of the persons holding contract have been paid in full, and the remaining 20% have been paid a portion pending the submission of the required forms.
It's been a long time coming, but the Marco Alert is inching closer to its full rollout after officials from the Bahamas Telecommunications Company conducted a test on Wednesday. It's been through the continued agitation of Marco's family that steps were taken to alert the public in the event a child goes missing, foregoing the suggested 48-hour period.
This is just a system that permits the police to notify broadly. And so if you notice that your child is missing, as in the case with young Marco, who was sent to the store and his mother expected him back home and he didn't come back home, she'll have the ability to make, in those circumstances, an immediate report to a policeman who will simply verify the facts. And once that is determined, then the system can be activated.
To see just how your morning commute will be, we now turn it over to our Crystal Darling out there on the streets. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Fisher, and good morning, LaDawn. We're here at the T-junction of Parkgate and Village Road. And this morning, I'm here with Officer Patrick Kemp, who's going to give us a little update on what happened in the last 24 hours with traffic.
Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Bahamas. First, let me just say, if you're in the land of the living, this is definitely a great day to be alive, and we should be grateful. Within the last 24 hours, we've had over 6 accidents reported to us. And Crystal, it'd be a good day, one of these interviews where you can say we had no accidents. Unfortunately, that I don't think that would ever happen, because there's one thing that happens. We're going to have some of these traffic crashes. And I choose to say traffic crashes, Crystal, because an accident is something that's unforeseen. These crashes will take place is usually because of the negligence of these drivers who are driving without due care and attention. I want to say to the drivers, please drive with due care and attention while you're traveling on the streets.
Okay. And Officer Kemp, we know that there's a merger lane right here on Village Road. Could you give us a reminder of how to use the merger lanes?
There's 4 merge lanes that I would just remind the public of. We got one, Blue Hill and Swords Road if you're heading south, Prince Charles if you're heading in the eastern directions, and Esso. We have here in Village Road and one in the area of Sampan. And the merge lanes is where you have 2 lanes that are going in one direction, or multiple lanes going in one direction to enter into a single lane. And I want to say to the users out there who are using the merge lanes to give way to the persons who would first be established in their right lane. And let me say to the other drivers, if somebody's ahead of you, there's no need for you to speed up from behind, because you might have the right lane to make your way ahead of that person. That's where these traffic crashes happen. Give way to one another and to help the traffic move freely in the right direction.
Okay. And Officer Kemp, we also know that a lot of road work tends to happen on Village Road. Do you have any advice to drivers on what to do when they are driving on a road that may have some construction work going on?
Well, pretty much through the island of New Providence, there are some type of roadworks that would usually take place. And I want to say to the respective ministries out there, all contracted, agencies that when you are doing your road works, to be mindful that some of our drivers on the streets may not be paying attention, or depending on when they travel through the night, they may not see that there's a hole, an opening in the streets. To please put up a sign, erect a sign, letting the members of the public know that we have there's a hole here, there's some work going on. One time ago, going up Crystal, we used to see a fireball back in the day on top of a heap. We have some work being done in the road to indicate to the road users that there's something going on here. Other than that, it's incumbent on the drivers on the street to drive it to paying attention and watch where you're going. If you get in an accident, Crystal, due to some road work, some hole in the street, I would say to those drivers, remain on scene and still report that. Okay, that incident that would have taken place still should be reported to the police, and then we'll know where to take it from there.
Okay, thank you so much for that advice, Officer Kemp. We'll be back after this break.
Bahamas group of companies is celebrating women in technology. We're taking this opportunity to pause and highlight the leading ladies in information, communication, and technology who are breaking stereotypes and shattering glass ceilings. We hope you'll join us in honoring the tremendous girl power that keeps our community connected.
PTA Founders Day, and this morning we're joined by the president of the Kingsway Academy Parent Teachers Association, Cheryl Portier. Portier, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning, LaDawn and Jonathan. It's great to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
So let's get right to it. So what are PTAs, and why are PTAs so important?
Well, LaDawn, when we consider the legacy and work of founders, Alice McLeland Burney and Phoebe Atkinson Hearst, who back in 1897 took a very simple idea to improve the lives and future of all children and used this as a backdrop as they created the National Congress for Mothers, which would later become known as the National PTA in 1970. Pushed past the accepted barriers of their day, truly understood and embraced the power of individual action and took action with imagination and courage to change the world for children. I think this sums up the real importance of PTAs, and I count it a privilege to have a seat at the table to serve and offer leadership and be a part of such a magnificent movement at the great Kingsway Academy that seeks to be a powerful voice for all children, a relevant resource for parents, teachers, and administrators, as well as an advocate for a firm educational foundation.
Now, this is a crucial question. What is the role of both the teacher and the parent in the Parent Teachers Association?
Well, if you think about it, sometimes there are external forces, if one would say, that impact and influence our children. And sometimes our teachers have great influence even over us as parents on our children. And so I think the role of teachers and parents would be to be good role models for our children, play an active role in their success, and provide as much support as we possibly can while communicating with each other without judgment, but just through support and encouragement to find the best solution whenever they're faced with challenges.
And how often can you say PTAs happen per year?
Well, if we use ours as an example, I would say that we meet at least once a quarter, and where we can, we move to have meetings at least twice. But definitely, you won't want to have meetings less than once per quarter or per term. Sorry.
And what effect can you say has COVID-19 had on PTAs?
Well, you either ride the wave of change or find yourself beneath it for sure. And if one thing that COVID has had in terms of its impact, it has forced us to think outside of the box and to stretch our imagination. finding new ways to do old things. It has also slowed down our ability to do some things like, have some of the usual fundraising events that require large crowd gatherings or participation. But we've had to become innovative and become flexible and agile to meet our goals.
And one last question. What are some of the initiatives Kingsway Academy's PTA has on tap this year?
Well, we are hoping that COVID will go away and we'll keep these cases down. And surely we'll be able to host our flagship event this year. The Kingsway has become known for our fiesta. While we've not been able to have a walkathon, like I said, thinking outside of the box, we're looking to implement a few virtual fundraising events, including some talent shows, walkathons, and if we can get a few drive-in initiatives in there, like movie nights, stakeouts, and some other in-house fun activities for the kids to participate in as they are trying to return to some normalcy and spend time with their friends, having some of the wacky soft days, etc. So those are just a few items that's on the drawing board.
Ms. Portier, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and all the best to you and your team. Thank you so much.
Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused gaps and delays in many sectors, but now as many are granted permission to resume, light can be seen at the end of the tunnel. This morning, Krista Darling tells us more about the impact this has had on a local school.
At Blairwood Academy, 3 classrooms in an unfinished block at the front of the school are finally on the way to completion. School director Kim Kuskala says because their classrooms were so small, they decided to add new rooms to accommodate the load. Then, in the middle of erecting those structures, all schools nationwide were instructed to close, which further compounded the situation.
Then we can only have a certain amount of kids in a classroom, and we already have a minimal amount. So we decided to expand, and we built 3 classrooms during it that, again, I mentioned before is very costly on us when we weren't even in school. So it was money going out when money wasn't really coming in. And we know that the services at Blairwood are needed.
Kuskala says that when schools were operating with a hybrid system, Blairwood was fortunate in that they were able to facilitate some of its students at other institutions.
We have teachers in other schools to help with that, to help bring up gaps. So we have a teacher in Tamberley, a little schoolhouse out at Adelaide. Because we do not have the spacing at Blairwood Academy to house everybody. But yes, it has been taxing on us that we have to now find the space, because if you look around Blairwood, there is not a lot of space. And kids do need a place to play basketball and to run around when we are able to do those kind of things.
She adds that although there were challenges, they are grateful for the positive relationship that grew between the teachers and parents.
Our teachers and our parents have gotten very close, and they are able to call and check up on them, and the parents are able to call the teacher and check and say, look, I'm struggling, what can we do? So we have a very open door policy. We are alternative, and it's a therapeutic environment. We make sure the child academically, behaviorally, socially, and emotionally are all on the same page.
Students at the Louise McDonald School over in Bimini are excited to be back in the classroom. The school is currently dealing with a shortage of teachers, but as Romiko Knowles tells us, school officials are looking forward to full face-to-face participation.
Excited to be back in school, but eager for school to reopen fully using the face-to-face method. That's what students at Louise McDonald High School in Bimini say they're hoping for in the near future.
Usually when I'm online, I don't really be catching on quick or that good. So being back here would be actually better for me to learn.
After months of learning at home, 8th grader at Louise McDonald High School, Antonia Bolek, says it felt like a long midterm break.
But it wasn't really normal for me. It was kind of different because you were off school, you're not coming here most of the days. You was just online and you went to school. It wasn't really normal. When I'm in school, different teachers teach different ways, so I'll be able to understand them face-to-face and online.
And she is not alone. 7th grade student Deshaun Ferguson also prefers learning using the face-to-face method.
Being in quarantine for probably over a year now has caused a lot of students to have sort of problems with learning online, and the reason I'm happy to be back is not only do we get like better learning in person, but at the same time the teachers are great here.
Having the students return to school using the hybrid model has been a breath of fresh air, according to acting principal Dominic Sweeting. He says while it is great to have the students back on campus, it is important to make sure they are following the safety protocols.
So we're now on high alert and ultra sensitive to matters as such, and we're relying heavily on parents to do their part. Why? Because we do not want to go back in the remote style of learning, because it poses a lot of challenges previously. So we're counting on parents to do their part. If they fail to do that, we're going to call parents and we're going to ask them to come and receive their child, because it puts us at risk to pivoting to remote style of learning again, and we do not want that to happen.
Sweeting says remote learning has not been successful, as like many schools, students were not logging on for class.
We had a percentage of 30-something% of our students, coming to classes during that time. So we're excited to have them back on the campus, because it increases the contact hours between them, and teachers can now have a hands-on approach and give them specific instructions when they now go back home. Currently we're on a 3-2 style of learning. 3 days on, 2 days off. 9th grade and the 12th graders, they are basically the grade levels that are taking a national examination. So they're at school 4 days of the week and 1 day home. And that's been working really good for us.
In keeping with the Ministry of Health protocols, no more than 50% of the student population is allowed on campus. The acting principal says so far the hybrid model has been working out great, but their aim is to return fully.
Thanks, Romiko. And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On February 17, 1950, Sir George Ritchie Sanford arrived in Nassau and was sworn in as the new governor. Also on this day in 2001, the late Archdeacon William Thompson was posthumously given the Lady Sassoon Golden Heart Award, which is handed out annually to a person who has given of themselves to promote human welfare and dignity while making life better for those around them.
(2022) is a year of positional manifestation.
My God.
I just said something. A year of positional. Now, I know you may have never heard that before. It means, my brothers and sisters, if you are positioned, you are ready for the manifestation. God is going to reveal himself in the lives of people who know their God.
Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
Another major sporting event added to the calendar for this year. The Hoop Fest in Paradise High School basketball tournament was launched yesterday and is expected to host some 4 of the top American teams along with 2 squads made up of our local homegrown talent. The event is scheduled for December 16th and 17th at the Kendall G. L. Isaacs Gymnasium.
We have something they call in the Ministry of Tourism heads and beds. And having a series of meetings with Glenn, I thought it was good to have this event to the Bahamas, and immediately I invited him to come to the Bahamas to meet with the minister to talk a little bit more about this initiative. And I guess the minister, not guess, but the minister wastes no time to say, hey, this is something that he thinks will be good for the Bahamas. I know you had an opportunity to go to one of the other Caribbean islands, and I'm just thanking you for choosing to come to the Bahamas to bring this exciting basketball tournament.
And the local baseball fraternity continuing to mourn the death of longtime Junior Baseball League of Nassau Commissioner Jeff Albury, who passed away at his residence on Sunday at the age of 74. President of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Romel Fisher-Knowles, among those sending out condolences.
Jeff was a quiet man. However, he was passionate, energetic, vigorous, meticulous, concerned, happy, just to be around the young men and women, just lending a contribution to their development in any way he could.
MMA star Conor McGregor is in the Bahamas. He was spotted at Fusion Superplex earlier this week with his wife. The pair staying at the Albion Resort, enjoying a romantic Valentine's weekend while also taking in some fun in the sun. McGregor seems to be making a speedy recovery after suffering a gruesome leg injury in his most recent bout with Dustin Poirier in UFC 264.
The natural resources of the Bahamas play a critical role in supporting Bahamian livelihoods. For example, the fishing and tourism industry, which include fishermen, seafood exporters, hoteliers, dive operators, restaurants, and others. Collectively, they generate approximately $1.5 billion a year. Therefore, we must respect and preserve what we have. These resources belong to us.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
This is my livelihood.
So let's all do our part to maintain our local economy and a good quality of life. Remember, if we take care of nature, nature will take care of us.
Teachers and staff at the A.F. Adderley Junior High were treated to breakfast thanks to Area Member of Parliament, the Honorable Mario Boleg, and the Bush Cook Restaurant. Boleg says he decided to honor teachers while paying homage to his alma mater.
Well, teachers cannot live on apple alone, so we just want to make sure that we have something inside them that will allow them to sustain their energy as they came back to school to deal with these students. And you just want to show appreciation. This profession is one of the greatest profession and most important profession, along with the health care workers in this country, and often too much they are forgotten. So I just wanted to make sure that the schools and in my community that I make sure that they're not forgotten, and also my former school that I graduated from. So I just wanted to make sure I come back and give to those who would have taken care of me.
Boleg also presented school principal Virginia Romer with a monetary donation towards technical equipment for students.
I am sure that this definitely makes them feel loved. It makes me feel loved. And also it shows to me that not only A.F. Adderley as an institution, but our teachers as individuals are truly, truly appreciated.
Well, today normally deserve as National Acts of Kindness Day. So what act of kindness are you going to do today?
Am I going to buy you lunch today?
It's a day celebrated by individuals, groups, and organizations nationwide to encourage the acts of kindness. And Ladon says that she's going to buy me lunch today. I'm going to think of some act of kindness. I just want people to be nice to me today. That's the only thing.
But we're always nice to you every day. You're just the grumpy one every day.
It's also Human Spirit Day, and that is to encourage mindfulness throughout meditation to get us to form the habit of constant reflection as a way to feel content, our pressure-filled life. It's been such a trying year so far, so we're just going to meditate and just...
And speaking of spirit-filled, are you going to go to church now? Since no bedside Baptist this year? Good, yeah. Because I haven't seen you. This is the first time I'm seeing you since the new year.
So you're just trying to get everything out this morning.
Yeah.
But you promised, you started off by saying this, be kind.
I'm being kind. We're trying to be, Christian values, principles, spiritual.
My New Year's resolution, I've already broken about 10 of them, and one is still out there, so don't. So what's coming up tomorrow, LD?
You're speaking of, are you going to do the drop it challenge?
We're going to do the drop challenge tomorrow. We're also going to be talking about Cabbage Day and the benefits of eating cabbage.
Oh gosh, are we going to be doing stuffed crab tomorrow? And then red nose day is tomorrow as well. You're going to rig your red nose?
And Tyson and Wendy in studio for entertainment.
Oh,
so it's a fun-filled, exciting Friday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to get loose tomorrow.
Loose as a goose?
Loose as a...
Alrighty then.
But be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates, throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas tonight at 7 o'clock. And viewers, I will let you know how my breakfast was and if LaDawn stays to her word to be nice to me today. So please be nice to somebody else out there today.
Have a great morning, everybody.
Come on, let's go. Baby, all the time I'm thinking about you. Cooking on the stove, but can't stop thinking about you. Holding this little baby and thinking about you. Man, I'm going crazy.